Do video game adaptations really suck? For decades now, we've seen some of the biggest gaming franchises ever get adapted to the big screen. However, in early years, they were pretty controversial as most of the time they failed to capture the magic of the video game they were adapting. But over time, I feel like I've noticed a shift on not only the perception of video game movies, but also the quality of them. And with the Mario Galaxy movie coming out in less than a month now, that being one of the biggest gaming franchises of all time, I see no better time to look back on video game adaptations and really figure out, are these movies all that bad? But first, we need to look back on video game adaptations and really understand what makes a video game adaptation any good anyways. Because unlike book adaptations, video game adaptations to movies rarely follow a one-to-one retelling of what that video game was. Rather, they often tell their own unique story, taking only the necessary elements from the video games, and sometimes even adding their own elements. Sometimes for the better, but most of the time for the worse. But things like the main characters, the world, and overall themes are usually all implemented from the video games to the movie. You know, the things that actually stand out and make a video game what it is, and are necessary components to that video game. As without those things, the movie wouldn't feel like the video game it's retelling at all. A prime example of this is the Mario movie. No, not that Mario movie. I'm talking about the live-action 1993 Mario movie. I remember finding this movie on YouTube when I was a kid, and I was so excited. You know what I mean? Like those movies that were split into like 30 different parts, where you're able to hunt down each part just to watch a 3-minute snippet of that movie in terrible quality. But I really did love Mario, and the idea of him being in real life in a movie was so sick. It was really like a dream come true. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This Super Mario Bros. Movie feels nothing like Mario at all. Like, sure, this guy's name is Mario and his name is Luigi. And is that Bowser? I guess so. But these characters are so much more than their names. Where are the power-ups? Where's the Mushroom Kingdom? Where's Bowser's Castle? None of this stuff is here. This isn't a Mario movie. This movie was obviously a complete failure in the box office because just look at it. And it led to Nintendo not licensing any of their franchises to movies for 3 decades. Alright, that's a pretty rough start for video game adaptations, but that was back in the 90s. I mean, who was even alive then? Let's move forward and actually look at the modern day and see if video game adaptations are still really bad. But it is important to preface, there is a ton of video game adaptations that I have never seen. Not only have I not seen a lot of these movies, but I haven't even played a lot of these games. So really quick, I'm gonna go through a bunch of video game adaptations that I've never seen and I don't really care for. First up, we got Uncharted. This is a newer movie. It has Tom Holland, and the Uncharted games are pretty critically acclaimed. Unfortunately, I heard this movie was not very good, which does not surprise me. Next up, we got Angry Birds. They've made 2 movies already for this, which is kind of crazy because it's a mobile game. Obviously, I played Angry Birds, but I think I'm a little bit too old to go to the theaters to watch Angry Birds. The one scene I have seen from this movie is the I Eat Dirt scene. I can't lie, that's low-key peak. But there are so many video game adaptations that I haven't seen. Tomb Raider, Until Dawn, Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil again. Why is there so many Resident Evil movies? And almost all of these movies I've named have absolutely terrible reviews. So just like that, I think I found the answer to the question to this video. Okay. All hope is not lost because there's still a bunch of franchises we haven't talked about. And one of those is Pokemon. Okay, so when I say Pokemon movies, there's probably 2 different types of movies you're thinking about. The first ones are the adaptations from the anime. There are so many of these movies now, and they often feature a main cast from the anime into separate, smaller stories that are about an hour long. But those aren't the movies I'm going to be talking about. Because the other big feature film that the Pokemon franchise has is Detective Pikachu. I cannot be the only person that forgot this movie existed. Now, I remember when this movie came out, the concept was sick. Pokemon in live action was such a crazy thing that had never been done before. And when I went to go see it in theaters, I was pretty excited. But then I actually watched the movie and saw he was played by Ryan Reynolds. Pikachu is played by Ryan Reynolds.
Harry faked his own death.
Overall, the movie isn't that terrible, I guess. The visuals are there and Pokemon in real life is cool enough of a concept to make it slightly interesting. But even watching this back in 2019, it was nothing special. I mean, the whole idea of Detective Pikachu is stupid. Why did they even create this character? It's pointless. And from the looks of it, it doesn't look like we're getting a Detective Pikachu 2 anytime soon. But the next 2 video game movie adaptations we're looking at were pretty successful within the box office and came out pretty recently. With all that said, The Minecraft movie and the FNAF movies are not good. Sure, the memes and the movie theater experiences are there for these movies, but if you look at it objectively, these are not good movies, and they're even worse at being adaptations. Let's start with the worst one, that being the Minecraft movie. Why isn't this movie animated? Why am I watching Jack Black run around as Steve? It doesn't work, and it isn't Minecraft. Because the thing is, if we got a real animated Minecraft movie that followed the Minecraft lore in the world that is, it would be so peak. Then we got the FNAF movies. There's 2 of these now, with more most likely on the way. And honestly, they're not very good either. Don't get me wrong, they're way better than the Minecraft movie, but they still aren't that crazy, and you kind of just get what you expect. Like, the animatronics are all there, we get the fan service, and overall, it's a solid enough adaptation, but they could just do so much more. A lot of people even called for an R-rated FNAF movie, which I think is a cool idea, which would include a lot of the gore and more of the lore from the movies. But with how successful these first 2 movies are, I don't see them switching up the formula. Overall, to me, these movies lack a lot of the passion and love that these game franchises have. And you really want more to come from these video game adaptations. Okay, it just seems to get worse and worse for these video game adaptations. A lot of them I've never seen have had terrible reviews. Detective Pikachu exists, and the Minecraft and FNAF movie were disappointments. But now we have probably the most popular live action video game movie adaptation, that being the Sonic trilogy. It's still crazy to think that people hate on the original design so bad that they delayed the movie and redesigned the whole character, which probably saved the whole trilogy and the whole franchise. I've talked about these movies on my channel before, and overall I think they're a solid set of movies. They all create unique stories, but also having our iconic characters at the helm. The first 2 are just extremely mid to me. They're nothing special, but they're solid enough adaptations. But the 3rd one really brings it all together, including all of our favorite characters in one movie with a unique story and all the fan service you could ever want. And with the 4th film releasing in a year from now, the future looks bright for the Sonic franchise in these movies. But now it's time to talk about the greatest video game movie adaptation of all time. This being the Mario movie. The new one, the animated one, not the other one. This movie is beautifully animated, and I'm so glad they went for the animated approach over live action. Our characters, the world, everything is represented so well within this movie. And though this movie doesn't really stray away from what the franchise has already established, the story is still unique and very compelling. It is pretty simple, but sometimes it's all you need for a good video game adaptation. Like, these video game franchises are huge for a reason. You don't need to change things up a lot. Just use what these franchises give you and make a movie out of it. It's that simple. This movie really played to its strengths, and I can't wait to see what Mario Galaxy does. So despite all the failures and critiques video game movie adaptations have faced, the future looks pretty bright. Some of these films are genuinely great, and they encapsulate exactly what the video games mean and represent. And yeah, sure, there is some slop, but even those have some cultural impact, so we'll let it pass. And yeah, video game adaptations as a whole still have a lot of improvement to do before they can truly represent the franchises that they want to. But I think they're in the right direction. But that's all from me. And if you're mad I didn't talk about any video game adaptations that were turned into TV shows, yeah, I low-key just forgot about that.